the way that I would describe you can get it is that you now have the ability to get your arms around a more modern understanding of what leadership development needs to look like to meet the complex nature of today's leadership jobs to be done. And that understanding means that we need to know the things that drive human excellence, compassionate human leadership excellence in any given leader, at the same time that we understand the things that start to drive fierce business leadership. So, for me, when I hear the word get it, you can get your hands on a model that represents modern leadership, and it gets you to this place called, we all want that. We want modern leadership, which is human, compassionate leadership, as well as fierce business leadership. So you can get that, right? You can get that through, software, a service company like Rejuvi. That's how I get it. When you take a look at the leadership development space, there have been lots and lots and lots of models of leadership, slices of leadership, perspectives on leadership. People kind of know what they are. There's literally millions of them. And the story is that let's say that the company that you worked in decided to build a relationship with the person, the vendor who owns this particular model for leadership. You're gonna get some feedback against that model. You might get some reporting. You might get some training on how to implement that particular model inside your organization. But at the end of the day, the data on that model and how that model learns and grows from itself belongs with the vendor. And good luck trying to call that vendor to have your specific data sliced and diced different ways inside of your organization. And I think that what has happened to so many organizations is that because they may be dependent on a vendor or somebody else for the leadership model, and that company or that vendor then is doing some initial assessment, that the best that data, that pure, attribute level data can do is you can understand your data in relationship to industry norms, right? And you would say, well, this is kind of where we're at in relationship to the model. And by the way, you're in this industry X, and this is where you're at, your results are at in relationship to the industry. That's kind of the best that the leadership development industry has been able to produce. I mean, how many times, Vid, since you and I have been working together at the Rejuvi Venture, have we been asked, where are your industry norms? And people, we say industry norms are not anything that we worry about. And guess what? We encourage our clients not to worry about industry norms. And here's why. Because it pushes us into the third world called leverage. Because when you have a better model for what leadership looks like in a modern, what it needs to look like based on people's leadership jobs to be done today, and you now have good, pure, what does the science tell us level kind of data that helps you to understand each one of these building blocks, kind of where you're at, what your capacity is with that. We don't want you to call us and to say, tell us what our data means into our norms. What we want to do is to empower you to take that data, because we believe you own it. And we want you to be able to take that data and to actually start to say, what does it mean to us? If we grew our EQ capability by 3 percentage points, we want you to understand how that drove business outcomes. Maybe it drove retention at the people level. Maybe it drove efficiency or error rates at the operational level. Maybe it drove higher revenue, maybe or revenue per FTE at the
Yeah.
human level.
Yeah.
That's what we want you to be able to do with it. Don't take your data and understand what it means, how you're doing in relationship to your industry. Take your data and understand what it means to you in terms of driving
Yep.
business outcomes, right? That's to me what it's the shift between you can own it, you have the right to own your data at this new level, and you should
Yep.
convert that, you should leverage it, you should convert that not to industry norms, but you should convert that to business outcomes for your company.